Okay. First, we'll discuss for 10 marks. Yeah. Now we will discuss commerce 10 marks. Just a minute. Hmm. Sir, memorandum of association. Huh? Just a minute. Okay. First, do you want 10 marks? వరుసగా వెళ్దాం ఒకసారి లైట్ టచ్ చేసి వెళ్దాం మీరు. సో ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేసి define sole proprietorship and state its features. Okay, define sole proprietorship. State it. Sole proprietorship means the business started by single person. So he is the responsible for to get the either profit or loss. Okay, to get either profit and loss, he is the sole responsible person. Right. So he has unlimited liability. In case of whenever he is doing the business, if he get the losses, he should sell his personal property and he has to pay the money. Okay, that is unlimited liability. Okay, so first you have to write the definition of JL Hansen. According to Hansen, a type of business unit where one person is solely responsible for providing the capital and bearing the risk for enterprise and for the management of business. Okay, ఇది రాసేయచ్చు. In a sole proprietorship business, a single person starts the business, manages and controls all activities on the business, and take the responsibility of the results of the activities of the business. That means, in sole proprietorship, there exists only single person is the responsible for entire business, even if you get the profit or losses. So the profit and loss of the business is basically depend upon ownership skills in sole proprietorship. Am I clear? Next. Now we discuss features. So features means first individual initiatives. In case of sole proprietorship business, a single person bear the complete losses and enjoy all the profits of the business. So in single person take the initiatives, he start the business, either get the profit or losses, he is the responsible person. Am I clear? Next, single ownership. Owner is only one. Owner is only one. In sole proprietorship business, a single person owns the complete business. She start the business by gathering all the necessary resources. So, to establish the business, there exists only single person. He has to gather the entire resources what he want. So he has to provide the buildings, okay, laborers, capital, okay, everything, each and everything. He has machineries. He has to manage. Plus, he is a single owner. He should gather what he need necessary goods he has to provided by himself. That is single ownership. Next, less legal formalities. Like partnership account, compulsory we need large formalities. But in uh, sole proprietorship, formalities are very less. Okay, legal formalities are less. Less legal formalities are involved in the formation of sole proprietorship business. Therefore, formation becomes simple and easy and easy task. Next, that is simple. When compared to the partnership, legal formalities are less simple. Unlimited liabilities. Unlimited liabilities means the single owner is responsible for entire business if he get either profit or losses. Okay. In case of if he get losses, he should sell his personal property and he should pay the profit. That is unlimited liabilities. Am I clear? Next, ownership and management. In sole proprietorship, the ownership is in the hands of single person and managed by also single person. Okay, ownership and management is in the hands of single person. Next, motivation. In sole partnership, sole proprietorship, there exists only single owner. So he can motivated by himself only because he is the only responsible person to get either profit and losses. To get either profit and losses. That is the reason. To get the profit, he was motivated by himself. So that is the reason. So motivation also important here. So own motivation exists in partnership. Sorry, in sole proprietorship. Next, secrecy. In partnership, there exist two or more than members or partners. Simply, the secrets, business secrets are revealed to other people. But in sole proprietorship, there exists only one owner. It is highly impossible to leak the secrets, to maintain the secrets. So, maintain the secrets, we need sole proprietorship. That means in sole proprietorship, there is no disclose of secrets. Am I clear? Next, no separate entity. No separate entity. Sole proprietorship business has no separate legal entity. Sole trader or sole trading business are one and the same. So separate legal entity is needed. Okay, there is no. There exists only sole trading business. Okay, sole trader and sole trading business. Okay, legal formalities also very less. Next, one man control. See, sole proprietorship is always like a one man show. One man show. So managed and controlled by single person because there exists only one owner. He has control in the entire either profit and loss. Am I clear? Next. Next, ఇంకో తీసుకుంటే కింద రాసుకో వన్ మ్యాన్ కంట్రోల్ రాసుకో ఎక్స్ట్రా అడిషనల్ గా యూ కెన్ రైట్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ వన్ మ్యాన్ కంట్రోల్ నెక్స్ట్ లిమిటెడ్ ఏరియా ఆఫ్ ఆపరేషన్ the sole proprietorship they are investing less amount so their business operations also belongs to particular area where they are producing. Okay, if possible you can add these two points. One is one man control, next limited area of operations. This is important and we will discuss one more. Right. Next, we will discuss, define the partnership, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Okay. Yeah. From LMR, question number 5. LMR, question number 5. So, partnership means more than single person. So, simply we consider as partners. Okay. If you discuss the partnership of definition, for definition of partnership, an association of two or more persons who combined their financial resources and managerial skills for starting a new business and agree to share the profits and losses is known as partnership. In partnership business, there exists more than 2%. They are jointly producing the goods and they are responsible for profit and losses. Okay. Next, according to Section 4 of Partnership Act 1932. According to Section 4, the Partnership Act 1932, okay, partnership is defined as the relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any one of the acting for all. So, ఇది కూడా రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. You have to write like this one. So, first simply partnership means there exists more than one person. Okay. So combinedly they are producing. Okay. According to their share, they are getting either profit or losses. Okay. So first you have to write introduction and you have to write the one definition. Then you have to write at least 5 merits and 5 demerits of partnership. First we will discuss merits of partnership. Okay. Merits means first one, easy to form. Okay. The formation of partnership does not include many legal formalities and it can be formed easily. Registration is not compulsory for a partnership. So, partnership is basically depend upon agreement between the partners. So, there exist less legal formalities. They need not be register their partnership business also. Simple. Next, large resources. So, there exists in sole proprietorship, there exists only one person is there. He has to provide the entire resource. But in partnership, there exist two or more partners. So combinedly, they are collecting the more money. Okay, that means their capital is more when compared to sole proprietorship. Okay, so two or more partners together in the business, their capital also more. This is one of the advantages. That is larger resources. Next, better decisions. In English, one quotation is there. A decision has taken by two heads is always superior than one head. అంటే రెండు తలకాయలు తీసుకున్న డెసిషన్, టూ హెడ్స్ తీసుకున్న డెసిషన్ అనేది సింగిల్ పర్సన్ తీసుకున్న డెసిషన్ కంటే ఎప్పుడు కూడా బెటర్ గా ఉంటుందని చెప్తారు. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ పార్ట్నర్షిప్ there exist more than one partners, so they collectively taking the decisions, they will take the good decisions for the development of their business. Next, benefits of specialization. Benefits of specialization. In a partnership firm, all the partners work as per their knowledge and specialization. Okay, so as per their knowledge, they are using their knowledge in the business, they are getting the specialization advantage and they are getting the more profit. Okay, next, flexibility in operations. The partnership business is flexible. The size, nature and area of operations of the business can be changed at any time with the consent of all the partners. Okay, so they can easily operate their business and more flexibility operations in this partnership account. These are the main benefits in partnership. Once I repeat, advantage, easy to form, large resources, better decisions, benefits of specialization. Next, flexibility in operations. Okay. Next, demerits. Demerits are disadvantage, limitations of a partnership. So if we discuss the demerits, first one, unlimited liabilities. So the liability of the partners in partnership firm is unlimited. Even the personal property of the partners can use it to pay the firm's expenses or losses. That means in partnership, if they are getting losses, even their own assets, they should by selling their own assets and they have to repay the loans. That is unlimited liability. Okay, so this is one of the drawback in partnership account. Next, instability. In case of death, retirement, or of a partner, the partnership comes to an end. So, in case of death of the partner or retirement of the partner, the partnership it should be ended. Okay. Apart from this, partner can give notice for the dissolution of the partnership at any time. Okay, so at any time they are giving the notice and they can withdraw from the business. So this is instability. There is no stability in this partnership. This is the one of the drawbacks. Okay, next, limited capital. Limited capital. A partnership firm can have maximum 20 members only. In partnership, their maximum strength is only 20 members only. As the number of partners in the partnership firms are restricted to 20, the capital which can be acquired from partners remain limited compared to the joint stock company. In joint stock company, they are getting more capital from the by issuing the more shares. Shareholders are more, but in partnership, there exists only maximum. Minimum is 2%, maximum is 20%. When compared to joint stock companies, their partners are also less. Their investment also less. So this is main one of the defect, that is limited capital. Next, burden of employed authorities. The burden of employed authority may create the problem for the business. The partner binds the whole organization by his own acts. So there exist some rules and acts. They should be accept the rules and regulations according to their contract. This is one of the defect. It is a more burden on the partners also. Okay. Non-transferability of shares. Like large scale companies, we cannot transfer our shares to the other persons. In a partnership of firm, the partners cannot transfer their shares to the outsiders, okay, or to the other partners of the firm. They cannot transfer their shares. If they are not interested, they can withdraw, but they can't transfer their shares to other people like share markets. Okay, So this is the second one. So partnership definition, you have to write the merits file and demerits file for 10 marks. Okay. Now we will discuss one more important 10 marks answer. Uh, Define joint stock company. Explain the features of a joint stock company. So joint stock company from LMR question number 7. So define giant stock company. Explain the features of giant stock company. First, you have to write the definition of giant stock company. So Companies Act 2013. Companies Act 2013 states that a company refers to an organization incorporated under the Companies Act 2013 or under any previous company law. So giant stock companies, a company should uh, establish it under Companies Act 2013. That is important. Next, features of giant stock company. So we'll discuss some features like an artificial person created by law. So giant stock company is a person. Which person is a artificial person? Okay, is a artificial. All companies we consider as artificial persons. They are established by law. A company is an invisible and artificial legal person created by law. Okay, it has neither body nor soul. For this invisible person, they don't have body and soul. Okay. Next, separate legal entity. The law considers a company as an entity which is separate from the members. Basically, the memory and property of the company belongs to the company but not to the shareholders. Separate legal entity. The law considers a company as an entity which is separate from the member. Basically, the money and property of the company belongs to the company but not to the shareholders. That means we established one company. Okay, we are investing the amount. For example, three partners are there. Okay, now, or in joint account, large numbers of people are investing. So they are investing some amount. So that is the property belongs to that XYZ company only, not for the individuals. Am I clear? But that is the reason they have separate legal entity. And then we treat it as artificial man. Okay, invisible man. Okay, next, formation. The registration of giant stock company as per the Indian Companies Act 2013 is compulsory. That means to establish any joint stock company, they should register according to Indian Companies Act 2013. So, the process of formation of a joint stock company includes submission of various documents and meetings various legal formalities. To establish joint stock company compulsory, there exists some legal formalities. You have to follow that legal formalities and some meetings also conducted for the formation of this joint stock company. Formation is next feature is common seal as a substitute for signature, which is artificial man. For example, as a man, we have some signature. Like artificial person, company also has some signature. That is the seal of the company. Okay? A company does not possess any physical existence, so it performs activities through its agents. All the contracts of a company which are entered into the agent should be under the common seal of the company. So company does not possess any physical existence, but some agents are works under that company. Company seals we have the agents will signature on that. Okay, that is common seal. Substitute for signature. Next, perpetual existence. Even though the members of the company changes or die, the company exists. In giant stock companies, some members are died. Okay, some members are left. Okay, but company is forever. Company never dies. Okay, a company continues to exist until it is legally dissolved. To up to legally dissolved, the company should be exist. Even the members of the company died. Whenever, according to legal formalities, if you dissolve it, then only company will close. Till that, company is alive. Am I clear? Next, limited liability of members. In sole proprietorship, there exists unlimited liability. In partnership, there exists unlimited liability. But here in joint stock company, okay, the shareholders have only limited liabilities. According to their share, they are responsible. Remaining, they will not. So in joint stock company, the liabilities of the shareholders is limited to the unpaid value of their shares. Their liability is limited up to the extent of shares held by them. Okay. Next, membership. In case of private limited company, minimum 2 and maximum 50 members are required. Whereas in case of public limited company, minimum 7 members are required. So, in joint stock company, in the case of private companies, minimum is 2%, maximum is 50%. In the case of public limited company, the minimum numbers are only 7 required. Okay. Next, transferability of shares. The shareholders of the public limited company can transfer their shares freely at any times, but there are some restrictions on the transferability of shares in case of private limited company. So, in public limited company, the shareholders easily they can transfer their share from one person to another person without having any restrictions. But in the case of private shares, private companies, in shares, there is some legal formalities according to their limitations. They can transfer. So they can transfer also. Okay, transferability of shares. Okay, next, democratic management. Democratic management. The board of directors elected by the shareholders manage the day-to-day operations, okay, of the company. Shareholders can participate in the decisions related to company's policies. Democratic management. So for each and every joint stock company, they have one board of directors. The day-to-day activities maintained by themselves only. So the shareholders can participate in the decisions related to the company policies. Overall, that is maintained by board of directors. Next, statutory regulations. The Companies Act governs the joint stock company. The various provisions laid down in the Act, okay, in the Act are to be followed by the joint stock company. Statutory regulations also that exist in joint stock companies. Am I clear? Yeah. So this is important. Uh, yeah, public and next we will discuss public and private. Question number. What is the question number? Question number. One more important question is differentiate between private company and public company. Okay. So at least compulsory you have to explain 10 differences. Okay. So the minimum numbers in private company, minimum members are 2. In public company, minimum members are 7. Maximum members means in private company, maximum members 50, but in public company there is no limit for maximum members. Okay, right. Next, minimum paid up capital to establish company. The minimum paid up capital. A private company must have the minimum paid up capital is 1 lakh, 1 lakh rupees. Okay. In public company, their minimum paid up capital is 5 lakhs rupees. Am I clear? Next, identification. It is compulsory for a private company to specify the word private limited at the end of its name. For example, Raju and Co. PVT Limited. End of the name compulsory we have to use PVT Limited or private limited. Okay, end of the name. Now clear? Check once. Hello. Now okay? Check once. Yeah, that is your problem, not my problem. Once check. Now clear? Okay. Just a minute. Identification here for public private company, they should use PVT limited or private limited at the end of the name. In public company, they have to use the word public limited or LTD limited in the end of the name. Clear? Identification. Next, transfer of shares. Transfer of shares. The shares cannot be transferred. In private company, the shares cannot be transferred. But in public company, the shares are freely transferable. Freely transferable from one person to another person. Public issues of capital. Public issues of capital. A private company cannot invite public for subscribing to its share capital. Okay, a public company can invite the members of public for subscribing to its shareholders. So, public issue of capital means a private company cannot invite public for subscribing to its share capital, but here they can invite. Clear? Next, commencements of business. Private companies can start its business after incorporation. After incorporation, after completing the legal formalities, then only they can start the production. Okay? Public companies can start the business only after receiving the certificate of commencement of business. After they are getting the certificate of commencement, after getting the certificate, then they will start the business. Next, board of directors. The minimum number of directors in a private company are two. There is no limit on the maximum directors in private company. Private company, the board of directors minimum is two, maximum is no limit. But in public limited company, the minimum number of directors in a public company are three, maximum is 20. Am I clear? Private minimum two, maximum no limit. Public minimum three, maximum 20. Clear? Next. Appointment and retirement of directors. Appointment and retirement of directors. Appointment and retirement of directors can be done with a single resolution. Appointment and retirement of the directors can be done with single resolution. By using single resolution, they can appoint the new directors, they can remove the directors in private company. But in public company, appointment and retirement of directors require separate resolution. For separate resolution, okay. For appointment, they need separate resolution. For retirement, they need separate resolution. But in private, for appointment, retirement, they can use single resolutions. That is the main difference. Next, managerial remuneration. No restrictions on the remunerations of directors as well as managing directors. So the payment, the salary of directors and manager director, no restrictions. According to their board of directors, their decisions, they are paying them some amount. Manager remuneration. Next, in the case of public company, there are some restrictions on the remunerations of directors and managers. As per the rules and regulations, there exist some restrictions to give the remuneration to directors and managing directors also. Okay. Next, legal control. Legal control. So there is a less legal control or regulations for commencements of business. Legal control. There is less legal control or regulations for commencements of business. Okay. in private company, but in public company there is more legal control or regulations for commencement of business. Loans in private company, loans can be borrowed from private company. Loans can be borrowed from private company. Loan in public company, loans can be borrowed from public companies. They can get a loan from public company, the private companies get loan from private companies. Am I clear? This one? Yeah. The next important questions to discuss first are most important questions. So yeah, uh, then we will discuss remaining three questions. One is what is memorandum of association? Explain its causes. Question number 11. Okay. Question number. Question number 11. Just a minute. Question number 11. Okay. Right. Listen careful. So, what is memorandum of association? Explain its clauses. So, definition. According to Section 2, Clause 56 of the Companies Act 2013, Memorandum of Association is one of the documents which has to be filled with the Register of Companies Act at the time of incorporation of the company. Memorandum of Association means according to Section 2, subsection 56 of the Companies Act 2013. What they said, Memorandum of Association is one of the document which has to be filled with the register of companies at the time of incorporation of the company. At the time of incorporation of the company, they have to fill, okay, the details, okay, at the time of registration, register companies at the time of registration. So there exist some clauses in memorandum of associations. Okay, so those are we'll discuss one by one. First one is name clause, section 4, clause 1, subclause A. Registered office or situation clause, section 4, 1b. Simply, you can remember like this: 41A, 41B, 41C, 41D, okay, 41E, okay, 13.4C, like that. Okay, registered office situation clause 41B, objective clause section 41C, liability clause section 41D, capital clause section 41E, association of subscription clause section 13.4C. We'll discuss one by one. So, name clause section 41A. Name clause is defined under the section 41A. Okay, a company being a legal person must have the name to establish, identify. A company shall not register by a name which is identical with the name is an existing company. A company cannot adopt a name which violates the provisions of emblems and names. Prevention and Improper Use Act 1950. Every public company must include the word limited after the name end, and every private company must include the word private limited after its name end. That means the name clause denotes for every company they need name is compulsory. Without name they cannot register. Okay. So, but public limited companies, after the end of the name, they have to use limited company. For private companies, end of the name, they have to use private limited word compulsory. That is name clause. Second one, a registered office or situation clause, section 41B. Section 41. Section 41B. A registered office, so head office, is defined under the section 41B as per clause place and address. So place and address of the registered office of the company should be determined. If the company fails to do so at the time of incorporation, then it has to be decide the place within 30 days of incorporation or on the date of commencement of business. whichever is earlier, this address will be used as address of incorporation. That means, so at the time of incorporation, till they did not decide any address, but they have the chance after incorporation within 30 days compulsory. They have to submit the place and address within 30 days after incorporation of the company. Okay, so address is compulsory, registration office. That means office of the company according to 41B. Next, objective class. Objective class section 41D. Objective class is defined under section 41C. This class is the most important class in the memorandum of association as a company because it shows the objective for the which company is formed. That means whenever they are establishing the company, compulsory they will disclose what are the objectives of that company. What is the profit motive or service motive? Compulsory they have to disclose. So, and they can classify their objective into two types. What are the main objectives? What are the other objectives? That means sub-objectives. This class ensures the protection and of the creditors and shareholders. The objectives are helpful for for creditors and shareholders. Next, liability clause, section 41D. Liability clause is defined under section 41D. This clause includes the nature of liability of its members. The member of the company are limited to value of shares held by them. This indicates that the member are liability to pay unpaid balance of the shares held by them. That means the liability clause also denotes their liability is limited or unlimited. According to share, they have to liability. Okay, indicates by liability clause 41. Next, capital clause section 41. Section 41. Capital clause is defined under the section 41E. It includes the division of company's total capital into equity shares, preferential shares, and other sources. It contains the total capital structure of the company as per the class. Okay, any type of shares holders will have some special privileges and rights. So, according to capital class section 41E, it should denote that uh, regarding that capital, like in the form of equity shares or preferential shares or any other sources. But each and for equity shares or preferential shares or other shareholders, they have some privileges and some rights also exist. Okay. So anyhow, capital class denotes regarding section 41. Next, association or subscription class section 13 4C. Under section 13(4)(c), association or subscription clause contains the names of those who have agreed to subscribe to the memorandum, the names, address, and occupations of subscriptions, and witness of the included in the class. Associations or subscription clauses, section 13(4)(c). What it shows under 13(4)(c), association subscription clause contains the name of the name of name of those who have agreed to subscribe to the memorandum. The names, address, and occupation of subscriber. Simply the names, occupations of the subscriber, and witness including the class. So these are the classes. Okay, we will ask like this. What is memorandum of association? Explain its classes. So you have to write and explain one by one. Just by heart, like simply 41A, 41B, 41C, 41D, 41E, 13 4C. Okay. First you have to by heart it. The answer you can write very easy. Then next answer. First we will finish 10 marks. Business finance, most expected and compulsory bit intermediate first year and annual examination. You should focus on this. Okay, right. So if you read this one, that's enough. Last one, 10 marks. Okay. What is business finance? Explain its needs and significance in business organization. What is business finance? Explain its needs and significance in business organization. So first you have to write definition business finance. According to B.O. Wheeler, finance is the business activity. Finance is the business activity which is concerned with the acquisition and conservation of capital funds in meeting the financial needs and overall objectives of the business enterprise. Once I repeat, according to Wheeler, what we said regarding to business finance, finance is the business activity which is concerned with the acquisition of conservation of capital funds in meeting the financial needs and overall objectives of business enterprise. But establish the business, we need the to establish the business, we need some money. So that money simply we consider as business finance. To establish the business, we need some money. That money is called business finance. Am I clear? Right. Now, need for the business finance. Why we need the money in business? So, basically two purpose we are using business finance. One is fixed capital requirement. Second one is working capital requirement. We'll discuss one by one. The need for the fixed capital is understood from the following points. A business organization needs a fixed capital to purchase or acquire fixed assets for the business organization. So, to satisfy the to purchase of fixed assets, they need fixed capital. So, fixed capital means to purchase the fixed asset means purchase of buildings, purchase of machinery, like this. The fixed capital requires various forms of business organization to another, depending upon the nature of business. That means the fixed capital is different from business to business. For example, in a college, the fixed capital is building, furniture. Okay, furniture that is fixed capital. Okay, and Xerox machine, computers. They need for to establish any uh, like uh, manufacturing sector, they need building and machineries. Their fixed capital is different. That is different from uh, factory to factory. I mean here. Next, working capital. So, working capital requirement. The business in working capital means to satisfy the day-to-day activities. They need money. Like a business organization, as it may be small or large, needs funds to carry out its daily activities. That means for their to satisfy their daily activities, they need some money for holding current assets such as stock of material, bill receivable, and for meeting expenses like to pay salaries, wages, taxes, rent. To pay these one, they need working capital. For day-to-day activities, they are spending money to pay salaries, wages, taxes, and rent. They need money. That is working capital. Okay. The working capital requirement varies from one business to another business. Same like the fixed capital, working capital also different from business to business, depend upon nature of the business. For example, in a business organization, goods are sold on credit. This business organization requires high amount of working capital when compared to the business organization which sell goods for cash. So, for cash selling and credit selling, the requirement also different. I will discuss. Next, they are asking significance of business finance. So without business finance, we can't establish any business. Okay. Anyhow, significance of business finance. So first one is to meet fixed capital requirement of business. So business finance is needed to acquire fixed assets such as plant and machinery, land, buildings, furniture and fixture. So to meet the capital requirement of business. So simply, so the money or business finance is needed to acquire fixed assets to purchase the plant and building, machineries, land, buildings, purpose. They need money to meet working capital, day-to-day activities, to pay the salaries, rent, wages. They need money. That is to meet the working capital. Next, the growth and expansion. Okay, the business finance is required for carrying out growth and expansion. So, for example, small business to increase the big size, we need more building capacity, more machineries, more laborers, and more investment. That purpose they need more finance. That purpose they need money. Right? So, increasing the productive level. installation of innovative machines, new techniques of machines, establishment of research and development. For these purpose, they need huge money. Come under the expansion of growth activities. Okay. For growth and expansion purpose, they need business finance. For diversification, and to produce variety of goods, they need money. Starting a new lines of activities in business is called diversification. Starting a new line means different variety of goods, production of variety of goods. Starting a new lines of activities in business is called diversification. For diversification of business, finance is required. For example, a previous ITC was into tobacco business only. But today we can see the diversification of ITC, new business lines in such, okay, wipes, shampoos. That means in olden days, ITC company is only producing one tobacco products. But this ITC company now producing shampoos, cosmetics like this, hotels, okay, they are producing classmate notebooks like this. That means producing the variety of goods. Producing the varieties of goods is called diversification or line of activities, different line of activities. Okay. Liabilities. A business needs the finance for the meeting the short-term and long-term liabilities. For example, to pay the money for creditors, to payment the loans, or to pay the installment. Okay. So to pay the payment purpose, they need money. But especially to pay the liabilities, they need business money. So that is the need. We need importance of business finance. So these are the most important 10 marks answer. If you read these 10 marks answer, that's enough for intermediate first. Okay.